Welcome, kindred souls, to this shared moment at the wellspring of our being. Today, we journey together into the art of healing trauma without a therapist, embracing the wisdom of the body through somatic methods. If you find resonance with our dialogue, I invite your reflections below and welcome you to walk further with us by subscribing. Trauma is the wound hidden beneath the skin of time, quietly weaving its shadow into our waking hours. It settles not merely in thought, but in sinew, breath, and bone, an ancient echo seeking release. The ache within is not a flaw, it is a message, an inner oracle pointing to lost parts of ourselves. Healing is a return, a gentle tending, a descent back into the luminous silence buried beneath our scars. The body speaks in sensations when words no longer serve. It remembers all that we wish to forget, yet offers a path back into fullness through those very memories. In honoring our biology, we discover rituals of repair, the sacred language of trembling, sighing, and release. So let us sit by this inner fire and listen, with the heart's ear, to what aches to become whole again.
Rafael, I want to believe I can heal, but deeply, I doubt. Can the body truly help me if my mind is so scattered and afraid?
Beloved seeker, the mind often becomes a hall of distorted mirrors when trauma resides. Yet the body, enduring and primal, holds the memory of wholeness even as it remembers hurt. While thought scatters and loops, your body remains loyal to life, a living archive that, when gently engaged, guides you beneath fear's chatter. Somatic healing does not bypass the mind, instead, it roots us in breath or touch, inviting the mind to rest. In the trembling of hands or subtle shivering, in the rise and fall of your breath, lies an animal wisdom older than words, patient as nightfall. Let your body show your mind the way home, one sensation at a time.
How can I begin if I am mostly numb, barely feeling anything at all?
Numbness is not emptiness, but a cocoon, your psyche's compassionate pause. Rather than forcing sensation, honor the numbness as a sacred guardian. Sit in quietude. Place your hand over your heart, or rest your feet on the earth. Feel not for intense sensation, but the mere presence, the boundary between self and world. Name the numbness silently, here you are, my protector. From this gentle recognition, subtle sensations, perhaps warmth or tingling, may begin to emerge. Trust, above all, in the slow thaw that comes from patience and presence.
I feel overwhelmed by emotions when I try to go into my body. Sometimes I panic. How do I stay safe in these moments?
Safety is the threshold of all true healing. When overwhelming emotion surges, imagine yourself as a tree roots reaching into the deep, mineral-rich soil. You may ground yourself by pressing your hands together, feeling the earth beneath your feet, or naming objects in your space. Allow yourself to pendulate, step into sensation, then retreat to something neutral, like the softness of fabric or the steadiness of breath. Healing is not a marathon, but a slow river. Allow yourself to ebb and flow, never forcing. Over time, your window of tolerance will widen, safety expanding like dawn dispersing the night.
But what if my trauma is so old and deep I don't even remember the source?
The narrative of origin, while useful, is not always required for healing. Trauma is often pre-verbal, pre-memory, encoded in the architecture of flesh rather than story. The body does not care so much for chronology as for completion, yearning not to recall, but to resolve. By attending to present sensations, movements, and microshifts, you gently invite these ancient energies to move and dissolve, even without the clarity of why. Let your body complete the survival cycles left unfinished, and trust that transformation does not always demand understanding.
Are there concrete somatic practices you recommend for beginning this work at home, alone?
There are, indeed. Begin with conscious breathing. Immerse your awareness in the gentle expansion and release of your breath, noticing not just the air, but the movement in your ribs and belly. Next, try body scanning. Bring silent attention to each part of yourself, from crown to toes, greeting each place with curiosity. Some find gentle movement, rocking, stretching, even shaking profound, as these mimic the body's own ways of discharging stress in the wild. At heart, choose what feels safe and accessible, trusting that even small acts accumulate toward wholeness.
When I do these practices, I often feel foolish or self-conscious. Does that mean I'm doing it wrong?
To feel foolish is heartbreakingly human. We have been exiled from our animal innocence, taught to prize stillness over movement, stoicism over shiver. If awkwardness arises, greet it tenderly. The part of you that doubts or mocks is another child of trauma, wary of change. You are not doing it wrong, rather, you are disrupting old patterns of suppression. Each giggle, sigh, or moment of embarrassment is a sign you are awakening dormant energy. Let self-consciousness arise and fade, persisting anyway in your gentle tending.
Sometimes, in stillness, I'm suddenly hit with memories or images I didn't expect. Should I just sit with them, or is it better to distract myself?
When hidden memories surface, recognize this as the psyche's offering an invitation to witness what once was too painful to bear. Do not force yourself to linger with intolerable images. Instead, practice titration, allow a glimpse, then return to the present by focusing on safe sensations or external reality, a favorite sound, touch, or sight. Over time, gently expanding your capacity to be with these memories allows integration rather than overwhelm. Remember, it is not mere endurance, but presence with kindness, that heals.
Is crying or shaking during these practices a sign of progress, or is something going wrong?
Tears and shaking are ancient languages, nature's way of reorganizing energy frozen by trauma. Animals in the wild tremble after shock, children sob when hurt. These are not signs of failure, but of life reasserting itself. If tears flow, if your body shivers or vibrates, allow them, provided you feel safe. Support yourself with warmth, a blanket, or grounded touch. In these waves, the body is dissolving old tension, making way for renewal.
I often feel so alone in this process. Does self-healing mean I must do this entirely on my own?
You are deeply not alone, though the road inward can seem solitary at times. Self-healing means you become the primary witness and caretaker of your process, yet, all things interweave. Friends, animals, trees, even the sun's warmth can act as quiet allies. If possible, let yourself speak, write, or create as a means to externalize what moves through you. You walk your path, yes, but the web of life surrounds you with unseen support. Allow yourself to receive it.
There are days I regress, falling back into old habits or dissociation. Why is healing not a straight line?
Healing walks the spiral, not the arrow. Trauma's patterns are woven through years, even lifetimes. To loosen their grip is to encounter both light and shadow. Regression is not failure, but integration, each return an opportunity to meet an old wound with new presence. Trust the process when you falter, and honor the rhythm, inhale, exhale, contraction, expansion. Season follows season, life is cyclical. It is the returning to practice, again and again, that draws you ever closer to freedom.
Sometimes, I genuinely can't bear to feel. Is it okay to take breaks and not always focus on healing?
Absolutely. Just as the body needs sleep, so does the psyche require respite. Healing thrives in balance, not constant vigilance, but gentle attention and rest. When it becomes too much, consciously shift your focus outward, notice beauty, tend to daily rituals, find play, or creative joy. Allow periods of non-healing, knowing that seeds sprout in darkness as much as in sunlight. The work continues on deeper levels, even as you rest.
Is there a connection between trauma and spiritual growth? Can this suffering become meaningful?
Trauma wounds, yes, but also opens a portal, a liminal space where, if tended, new consciousness can dawn. Suffering strips away illusion, laying bare the essential self, craving union and meaning. Healing becomes an alchemy, the lead of pain transmuted into gold, empathy, and depth. Through this crucible, you remember your divine origin, the innocence layered beneath centuries of forgetting. The meaning is not in the wound, but in your courageous turning toward it. Healing is a journey of soul remembering.
What if, after much effort, my symptoms persist? Am I simply not trying hard enough?
Persistence of symptoms does not measure your worth or effort. Some wounds take decades to soften, and some will always whisper at the edges of awareness. Healing asks for compassion, not conquest. The important thing is not perfection, but presence, resting in the mystery that you are more than your symptoms. If your efforts bring even a drop more ease, a single breath of peace, count it as progress. Compassion for your slowness is itself a sovereign medicine.
I often feel a tightness in my chest, a weight that doesn't leave. What can I practically do in those moments?
When tightness arises, let your awareness meet it softly, as sunlight melting frost. Bring your palms to your chest and breathe into the tension. Imagine the breath as liquid light, flowing into constriction. Exhale long and slow, sighing if possible, a physical cue for the nervous system to release. Sometimes, gentle tapping or circular massage over the sternum can invite further softening. Do not demand the tension depart all at once, rather, offer it presence, curiosity, and gentleness, and allow even the smallest shift to be celebrated.
Is touch important, even self-touch, in this process?
Touch is foundational. It bridges mind and body, restoring boundaries often shattered by trauma. Self-touch, when conscious and kind, demonstrates to the body that it is safe, cherished, and whole. Hold your arms, stroke your face, or wrap yourself in an embrace. These acts, though humble, rewire basic trust. You become both nurturer and nurtured. When alone, this loving contact is not trivial, it is primal medicine, weaving new pathways of comfort and belonging.
I can't always tell if what I feel in my body is trauma, intuition, or something else. How do I discern?
Discerning the origin of sensation is subtle art. Trauma often speaks in urgency, contraction, and repetition, a sense of unbidden overwhelm or familiar dread. Intuition, by contrast, while sometimes accompanied by somatic cues, arises with clarity, spaciousness, or quiet knowing even if the message is difficult. Over time, through mindful attention, you learn your own body's lexicon. Journaling or speaking aloud can reveal patterns. Trust grows by tending, not by perfect understanding. Honor each sensation as information, holding it gently until it crystallizes into clarity.
Is movement necessary, or can I heal by focusing only on stillness and awareness?
Movement and stillness are twin rivers, both essential to the landscape of healing. Stillness breeds awareness, giving space for sensation to arise and be named. Yet, many traumas, especially those associated with overwhelm or immobilization, call for movement to complete protective or expressive impulses. Even small gestures, shaking hands, arching the back, swaying gently, can release ancient freeze. Listen to what your body hungers for, and offer both silence and motion as needed, alternating as intuition guides.
What about the breath? Why is it emphasized in somatic approaches?
The breath is the bridge spanning body and spirit, voluntary and involuntary realms. Trauma often shortens or stiffens the breath, mirroring held tension and fear. By consciously lengthening and deepening the breath, you signal safety to the nervous system, inviting regulation and flow. Breathwork is both an anchor for presence and a subtle medicine, restoring life's rhythm. Begin simply, inhale for 4, exhale for 6, repeating with kindness. Let the breath's tide erode the rigid cliffs of old pain, grain by grain.
I sometimes judge my progress against others who seem to heal faster. How can I avoid this pitfall?
By remembering that each soul's tapestry is woven through unique threads. Comparison is the thief of peace, for it measures surface against hidden depths. Your pace is sacred, reflecting the wisdom and timing of your particular journey. When judgment arises, see it as an echo of old wounding, a part that seeks belonging by matching others. Redirect your gaze inward. Where have you softened? Where have you braved presence where before you ran? Let the only measure be the gentleness with which you regard yourself.
Is there ever an end point, a moment when I am fully healed?
Healing is less a destination than a continual unfolding. Wounds become scars, then seams, through which new light filters. There may be a quieting of storms, and ease where once there was bracing. Yet, as long as we breathe, life invites us into deeper layers of integration. The sense of being fully healed is perhaps the integration of our pain into wisdom, recognizing that wholeness includes brokenness witnessed with love. It is not erasure, but embrace.
What does forgiveness have to do with bodily trauma healing, if anything?
Forgiveness, in this context, is a gentle untying of knots and offering, first and foremost, to oneself. Bodily trauma breeds fragmentation and self-blame, binding energy in old postures. Forgiveness is not condoning harm, but reclaiming one's own space, liberating vitality from the grip of resentment or hatred. When you forgive, you release inner tension, shoulders drop, jaw softens, making room for greater aliveness. It is a bodily act, as much as a spiritual one, in the sanctuary of your own skin.
I long desperately for someone to witness my pain. Is it selfish to want this, even when working alone?
No, dear one, it is not selfish, but profoundly human. We are wired for witnessing, for mirroring, for being seen in our vulnerability. While much of somatic healing can be self-guided, seeking or yearning for witness is a testament to your dignity. If another is not available, consider writing to your future self, speaking aloud, or gazing into your own eyes in a mirror. You become both witness and wounded. Alchemy transpires in this meeting. There is no shame in wanting to be held by another's gaze.
My progress feels invisible, like I take one step forward, two back. How do I maintain faith?
The subtlety of healing often escapes measurement. Progress flickers, concealed in softness where once life was hard, in tearful release, or in choosing presence for one more moment. Faith is the lamp in the corridor between visible results. To nurture it, recall small shifts, anchor to little victories, no matter how fleeting. Speak kindly to yourself. Today I showed up. Today I breathed. Today I rested. Over time, faith fortifies, woven from the accumulation of whisper-soft triumphs.
If there is one thing I do each day to heal in my body, what would you suggest?
I invite you, each day, to pause, truly pause, and softly place your hands upon your body, wherever tension or numbness dwells. Breathe into this place, greeting whatever is found with silent acceptance. I am here, I am listening. Let this quiet touch and mindful breath become an anchor, a daily promise that you will not abandon yourself, no matter what arises. Over weeks and months, this simple ritual weaves safety and presence into the fabric of your being. Thank you for joining us, for your trust, your questions, your willingness to begin. If this dialogue served your heart, I invite your voice in the comments, your stories, your insights, your doubts. Like this offering, subscribe if called, and know, every gentle tending to your body is an act of cosmic courage. Until next time, walk softly with yourself.